Alright, hey guys, Insight for Nerds here. I am the Nightwing, here to serve Batman on a daily basis, then go and have some really nice talks with my lady Starfire, talking about the good old for fun region in a LCS. So, what's really interesting is that JTH is not here, as you guys can see. He's busy working very, very hard. He will be in a video very, very soon. We're just honestly pretty busy. I don't want to, iterate that so much, but I think it's something, so people just kind of see only me for a bit. He's here. It's just, we have lives and we work, and that's how things get. But with the NALCS for the regular split about to pretty much come to a close in 2 weeks, we are now at crunch time. Hashtag every game matters. So what he did, he sent me his picks for the games today. First match you have is Golden Guardians versus CLG. CLG wanting to prove that they are a top team in the NALCS, but they are actually pretty inconsistent. If you look at a lot of things they're actually doing, it is not necessarily the best, but it can be improved on with a lot of things that they have in place. I think that if Darshan can have the same performances as he had on Jax the week before this, I think he can maybe come back to that old form where he used to solo kill and carry his team with split pushing and being able to be an actual carry threat in the top lane for CLG. Now you have Wiggly, who's been okay for his debut split. Nothing too incredible, but a pretty average jungler. Then you have Power of Evil, who I think is the best player on the team at the moment. I think he's playing fine, but I think he can actually play better. The bot lane of Stixay and Biofrost is looking like they're okay right now, but on the side of Golden Guardians, I think you have some strengths with Haunter and Froggen. I think Froggen is playing really good. I think that Definitely and Olay are a okay bot lane, but Olay is definitely going to be something that really does hurt the bot lane in terms of moving the team around and getting them any type of pressure. Haunter got visibly astounding, undeniably clapped by Someday last week, and he's had some off performances, but overall pretty solid. But right now, JTH says Golden Guardians, and I'm gonna say the same thing. I think Golden Guardians can beat CLG. I don't think CLG is super top tier at the moment. They really never ever defined a style, and I think that it's really interesting to me at this point where we don't really know exactly what type of form they're gonna have. Now, whether that changes in best of fives, remains to be seen, as we don't even know if they're gonna make playoffs yet. But these two teams are in that clump right now to actually make playoffs from what I can see right now. So I'm going to say Golden Guardians, and JTH says Golden Guardians as well. Then you have the match of the day, the match of the week right here. The two top teams in the NALCS going head to head. Team Liquid versus Cloud9. Obviously, Cloud9 fan here. I'm a big fan of theirs. As you guys know, I have Cloud9 merch in my own house. And also a G2 fan as well. If I, just had G2 Army. So, Cloud9 versus TF. So, obviously, I said I'm going to be literally picking Cloud9 all split. I have to stick by that. I'm not changing. But let's see some strength Team Liquid can win in. I think that Team Liquid is really good. Obviously, they're at the top of the standings. They're the best team in the league for a reason. I think that if you look at how Team Liquid has been playing these past couple of weeks, I think they can be beaten. I think that they show a bit of weaknesses in terms of the early game. Core JJ has been absolutely outstanding for them. You look at all the players across the board. Like I said, you can exploit Xmithy and Impact. That's one of the reasons why TSM got their win against them. The only win was against something that I mentioned at the first part of the split. How can you beat them? You exploit the top and the jungle, which have proven they can be exploited if you do it correctly. Yes, they are top players in the roles, but not without their weaknesses. Then you have Jensen, who I think is the first best mid laner in the league. I don't know, people want to say Bjergsen beat him. I mean, let's look at how many times Jensen solo killed Bjergsen in lane. Come on, let's not really forget ourselves here. But Bjergsen really hasn't been playing that good all split. Let's not discredit that either. So, Cloud9 is just improving every single week. You know, you hear players saying they love playing with my their teammates and stuff like that. Licorice is performing at MVP level. So is Zazel. You also have Svenskeren or Blabber. I think if you use either one of them, I think for this matchup in particular, you kind of want to use Blabber. The reason why you want to use Blabber is because you want to have a early game presence in the actual game, because I think the early game is the way to beat Team Liquid. Now, last time they played around, Cloud9 and FlyQuest and I think another team actually were close to beating TL. I think FlyQuest and C9 were the only teams that didn't give them a loss, that had close games when they actually played to a certain point. And Golden Guardians did play a pretty close game at some points when they played too, so it's just an interesting notion to really mention, but those don't obviously translate to any actual wins when it came to that case, because Team Liquid, having a superior game plan and team fighting presence on the map, made that non-existent for them to actually lose to those teams. But they did drop a ball to TSM because of the early game. I think Cloud9, the way they've progressed in the split to play the early game out, play these weird pocket picks that they like to play. A lot of people did criticize Niski as not being able to be as flexible as Jensen is, but if you really look at just how much Niski's been able to actually fill Jensen's shoes, you don't really hear people talking bad about him, because he's actually been performing pretty well. I think his laning phase still needs some work, as we already knew going in it was going to have some problems, but I think he's been overall just fine, and I think it's fine to have him. Someone said he's going to bring Cloud9 more success than Jensen. You know, you can't say those things right now, because Jensen did bring Cloud9 success. Yes, it wasn't in North America, which really doesn't matter when you already have trophies. Cloud9 has 2. What they care about is doing well at Worlds. So overall, I think right now, as much as Cloud9 has improved and as much as Team Liquid has kind of stagnated, I'm going to say Cloud9 win. That's what I'm going to say. JTH says Team Liquid. TSM versus 100 Thieves. TSM is going to, in my opinion, crush the little hearts out of the 100 trash, because 100 Thieves has been performing absolutely atrocious. You cannot say they've been performing good. They performed terrible. They're trying to play last year's style into 2019 style. Please stop. Don't insult my intelligence, 100 Thieves. It doesn't really matter. Right now, I think TSM, even if they made mistakes in the early game, when they do have leads, I don't think it'll matter. I think that if TSM got the lead they did against 100 Thieves, the way they got a lead against Cloud9 in their epic match the previous week, I think that 100 Thieves just aren't competent enough the way Cloud9 are to be able to fight themselves out of it. Yes, you can say TSM through, but you have to factor in Cloud9 also have players with brains that they know how to play out of that situation. Yes, a team can throw, that's true, but it just so happens that I can play good and I can play out of a bad situation. Good teams, in my opinion, can play out of bad situations they're put in. That's just what a good team does, in my own personal opinion. I think TSM wins this match too. JTH has it here. TSM wins too. I don't think 100 Thieves is, in my opinion, if they made playoffs, they're just the easiest team to beat. I don't think they're really going to make it anywhere. They're not as good as they were last spring, in 2018 spring, with Meteos. This has just been a really terrible split. I think they barely make playoffs. That's just my own personal opinion. I definitely had them at top 3, but I did say they're going to have a lot of growing pains, and oh my gosh, they have a lot of growing pains. It is astounding. So, Clutch versus FlyQuest, and you guys probably know JTH picked Clutch, and I'm not really too surprised at that. Well, not at the Clutch pick because of Piglet, but just the fact of the matter is that, like, FlyQuest and Clutch have 2 really interesting stories, because people had Clutch coming into the split as pretty dark horse-ish, and people had FlyQuest at, like, really low. We had them at 10th. I mean, if you look at it coming into the split, you would have understand what I've said. But FlyQuest have been on just a downward trajectory. I mean, so is Clutch. But right now, if I had to choose between the two, I do want to kind of preference this, because some people just might not actually know. Santorin posted on Twitter that his grandpa had passed away, and he couldn't go to his grandpa's funeral because it was going to have massive playoff implications. So, very, very condolences go to Santorin. I know how you feel, dude. I honestly do. I know how deaths in families can work, and they work on your mind so drastically. I'm sorry, dude. You couldn't go because you wanted to help out your professional League of Legends teams reach playoffs. It's fine, dude. I still believe in you. I think you're the best performing jungler in the NALCS, if not top 3 in your role. You're doing fine, man. Your grandpa will be so proud of you, being finally coming into your form and finally being a really fantastic jungler. People still say you're bad. They don't know what they're watching. They're Iron 4. They don't matter, bro. But if I'm looking at the actual game itself, Clutch haven't really played that good either. I mean, I like Piglet playing anything that's not an ADC at the moment. I think he shined really well on things that aren't ADCs. Really interesting, huh? He played mid lane at one point because TL was just that bad back then, but right now, I think that Piglet just looks better on stuff that's not ADCs. I don't think anybody can really dispute that. Look at his Aurelia games compared to the ADC picks he was playing a couple weeks ago when they actually were going through losses. I think that right now it's just better if they just put him on something that's not Aurelia. Now, if they ban it in first rotation, I think that they give him something different, because obviously in those situations you want to have another pick ready. So just in case they ban it out because they know that's your strength, you want to have something different. I think FlyQuest can win. I'm gonna say FlyQuest win this. I think they're just a little bit more cohesive as a unit in terms of team play. We saw Clutch get a 10,000 gold lead and throw it. I mean, like, they're all over the place in terms of just gameplay, macro, micro decisions. A lot of players are very vastly underperforming. So are the members on FlyQuest, but I think FlyQuest can pull it out because they have a few better performing members at the moment than Clutch do. So I'll say FlyQuest win, but Clutch for JTH is winning this match. Echo Fox versus Optic. I think Optic is, well, it was my dark horse for coming into the NALCS. I thought they had decent players in key parts, and we did see bright glimpses of that ever so often during the split. I mean, it hasn't been the perfect ride for Optic, but it has been a growing thing they've been doing. I think Arrow's been performing a little bit better. I think Big has been pretty underrated. I mean, he's been playing pretty well. If you look at some of his gameplay, he's playing pretty well. I mean, yes, he's probably not the best support, but he's playing pretty decent. Then you have Crown, who's performed way better than most people expected to. Most people thought he would come here and just bomb. He's performed pretty well. And you look at Dokla, who's, we don't talk about that guy. And then we look at Meteos or Dardoch, who's been playing pretty decent. I think with Meteos, they have a steady, stabilized direction. With Dardoch, they have a more of a fighting. They have a more of a I want to just fight early on type of gameplay from what I see. And it's something that can be a contrast between both junglers, but I think if you want more consistency, I think you go with Meteos for this match. The reason why you go with Meteos for this match is because whoever they play, Rush or Panda, I don't think there'll be a match for Dardoch or Meteos who are actually pretty good. Then you have Echo Fox, who is just looking like straight garbage. I mean, they're not good. Paul and Hakuho are the best parts about the team. Yes, Solo is solid. Dokla is not good. It won't matter. They're not going to carry the team. We know that. Panda to Meteos or Dardoch won't matter at all. Phoenix to Crown might be decent because Phoenix has actually not been performing that bad. He's been performing actually pretty decent, but against Crown, I think Crown has matched up pretty well against everybody here except for Jensen. I think Jensen's better than Crown, but you know, we have to see how that pans out, with the rest of the split, whether, maybe Optic and TL meet in the playoffs, which would be really interesting, but I don't think that will happen. So for Optic, I'm going to say Optic 2, FlyQuest look like the single worst team in the league. And if I have to go and like power rank these guys, I'm going to come here and quickly power rank them in front of you. So let's see right here. Google Slides. Got my presentation on right here. Sorry, it's kind of like all out of focus because I have to make things bigger for you guys seeing it right now on this NALCS week. No, that's the West power ranking. Sorry, I went to the wrong thing. NALCS. Let's see where we got. I made an LCS. LOS was power ranking. LCS power ranking right here. So let me go to my resizer on OBS. Let me resize the screen really quick. Let's go to the resizer. So I think that it's not too surprising to see teams like this. Let's see. I think the single worst team in the NALCS is Echo Fox. I think they're right there. I think that Clutch is still below Optic. I think 100 Thieves is not better than Optic right now. I think Optic is easily the 7th place team. They're performing much better than these three are, than these three specifically. Then you have CLG, who I thought were actually coming up to form, but I think that CLG has been drastically falling down. So has FlyQuest. So I'm going to switch out around and put Golden Guardians right there, and I'm going to put FlyQuest right here. And I'm going to put CLG at 6. I still don't think CLG is that good right now. I think Golden Guardians are becoming a very decent team, just ever so slowly, but not comparable to these two. I think Cloud9 and TL are still head and shoulders above the rest of the league. Even if TL do manage to beat Cloud9, I'm still going to put C9 here. That's not biased. They've just been playing better throughout the entirety of the split. I think that's very fair to say. But in terms of like these guys, Clutch is playing not that good. 100 Thieves is not playing that good. I mean, yes, Clutch did beat 100 Thieves, but that means that I move them up. Oh, you guys thought I was putting 100 Thieves above Clutch? Nah, I wouldn't even do that to you, even JTH. Like, we would definitely agree that Clutch is better than 100 Thieves. Even I can agree with that. Like, Clutch is way better than 100 Thieves right now. And, I mean, all these guys are bad. Optic is just the better one out of all these three, and that's not what I would have said coming into the split. CLG is not too far away from being these guys, so I think these are going to be your playoff teams looking forward, but, you know, all that can really change. So, yeah, I hope you guys really did enjoy this LCS Day 1, Week 7 power rankings and predictions. So, yeah. This is how I think the standings will pan out after Day 2, if I'm not mistaken. I think a lot of this stuff is going to be really interesting to see how this stuff plays out. But let's see. Let's see how it goes for this week, and I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing signing out. See you guys later. Bye. Have a good day.